Then what is the kind of food that the people were coming to eat empty-handed in the church of Corinth before this message was second? Because they want to fill themselves. So the bread that was given is a real bread. Was it leavened bread or unleavened bread? So there are two issues we are pursuing here. One is the issue of the remembrance, and the other one is the issue of leavened and unleavened bread. But what is leavened and unleavened bread? But you will see when you go into the account of Christ himself in the book of Matthew chapter 26, you will also see a little bit of a difference and discussion into that. Because you can see that is a blood covenant. He said, whoever that drink of my blood, this cup is the new covenant in my blood. Blood covenant was known in that time, and even till today. I just read last week about what is happening in Hollywood when superstars and actors, when they get married and do a blood covenant. It's there in every culture that when a blood covenant is involved, it is strong. It's unbreakable. Bad things happen when people break it because it involves blood. That is the whole idea of sacrifice. Even Satan and all the people make sacrifices, human sacrifices, like you see in a lot of third world countries. And even here, human sacrifice. Blood sacrifice. Whoever that drink of this cup, drink of my blood. That was Christ, as was given to Paul in his letter that he sent to the Corinthian church. And so it was also reported in the book of Luke. So if it is a blood covenant, but he says that he took a bread and he blessed it, and then the wine and blessed it. This is from the same Jesus Christ that turned the water into wine. Is it possible that by the power of Christ and power of God, that bread and that word was a flesh and is a flesh? Is there a history today? Remember that you are a Christian by faith. You never seen God. You have seen the signs and wonders, an example even in our church of everything that you have seen yourself that happened. So now, by faith, by strong faith, you make certain things that happen. Things that are beyond the human understanding. But you remember, this took place in the time of Passover. It took place during the time of Passover. But what is a Passover? So when the translation was given outside the context of the Passover and the Hebrew people, it lost its own understanding and meaning after some time. So for us in our church, as we stick in the word, in the book of Matthew chapter 26 from verse 26, you will hear the word of the Lord say, now why they were eating. Jesus took some bread, and after the blessing, he broke it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. And when he had taken a cup and given thanks, and he gave it to them, saying, drink from it, all of you. For this is my blood of the covenant. Jesus Christ called it the blood of my covenant. A blood covenant. A blood covenant. A blood agreement. A blood contract. Which is being poured out for many for forgiveness of sins. He's pouring out the blood for many for forgiveness of sins. He's going to die to make the connection to the death of Christ that we're talking about earlier. Which the Lord in the book of 1 Corinthians in chapter 11. Okay. Verse 28. For this is my blood of the covenant, which is being poured out for many for forgiveness of sins. But I said to you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it with you new in my Father's kingdom. He turned wine into blood. Remember, he turned water into wine. Here, he turned wine into blood, right? For those who say, in the word that you just hear now, and they say is a remembrance. What I want you to look also into, and for you as the soldiers, I will explain it to you. If you go back to the book of Exodus, let's start from what is even a Passover. If you want to understand what a Passover is, go to the book of Exodus in chapter 12. In the book of Exodus in chapter 12, you will see the description of the commands of the Lord regarding Passover. The year, the first month of the Jewish calendar, is when they celebrate Passover, which normally lasts about 8 days. And then, and because it lasts about 8 days and in the celebrations, also in that particular time of Passover, which is like what has been given unto them from the days of the ancestors when the Lord came and passed over them. The Lord came and passed over the people of Israel. You remember, the Lord passed over them. And they were celebrating about their deliverance from Egypt. So, but what is unleavened bread? Unleavened bread is a bread that is made without a yeast and all the condiments. What does it look like? I should have brought one. And I will try next time that I come that I will bring an unleavened bread. So that you can see it's usually flat. If you come from the eastern side of the world, you will know a lot of the flat bread. And if you're familiar with kosher food here in America, you will see it. You can go to kosher store and you ask for unleavened bread. You will see what it looks like. So that you can see, apart from that, it's very healthy. But the thing is that it is a representation for them of using unleavened bread. There is a reason for that. Why they cook it in that way. Because it is for the culture. Most conflicts and most disputes that